Hi, my name's Jen, and I thought I would take a minute to do an intro video to my YouTube channel. So, I was, I think, 18 when I joined the military. I went into the Navy. I followed the footsteps of one of my older brothers, and I went in and became a jet engine mechanic. I worked on F-18s. I was stationed at Weapons Test Squadron 9. Well, first it was 5 and then it was changed to 9. So we had a change of command, which made me a plank owner. I stayed there for 4 years and I got out and went into the reserves where I worked on helicopters at the Corpus Christi Army Depot. I went to college and I got a degree in occupational safety and health. I got a job working at the Corpus Christi Army Depot as an employee instead of a reservist. And I worked there for about 9 months, and I was able to get a position working in safety with the Naval Air Station Corpus Christi, which is in the same place as the Corpus Christi Army Depot on the same property. From there, I went to Fort Leavenworth, Kansas, and I worked in the safety department there as a regulatory enforcement specialist. And I acquired a lot of knowledge through the years working for the government, for the Department of Defense. And when I and my husband decided to have a child, we agreed that we would move closer to both of our homes back in Texas, and that I would eventually stay home with our daughter and homeschool her and raise her not being in public school. So with that, we were able to have our child, and staying home with her, I was able to have the time to do a lot of studying and research, and I have always sort of been interested in politics and law. I took some classes at a local university, and my major was philosophy with a minor in business management, in hopes of going into eventually some point in time law school. After realizing that that wasn't what I wanted to do and staying home with our daughter, by then our daughter had come, and I decided to stay home with her, and I just started studying on my own. I had the interest in politics, and I even ran for an office at the state level, which I was able to, as a libertarian, acquire about 2% of the votes. And of course, you know, I lost, but my interest has always been in law and politics, just for my own education and entertainment. And so I started studying. So my daughter would be here studying, and I would study, and I would study my own thing while she was learning her own thing. And so for the last 10 years or so, I've been reading various laws, ancient laws called maxims, ancient truths, the natural law, federal law, state law, local law, theories of law, science of law, early Roman law, Roman history, which is truly very interesting. And I've learned quite a bit of stuff, and I decided, hey, you know, I wanted to share this, being someone who listens and voted for Ron Paul. I listened to his daily videos on his channel called The Liberty Report. And he had said something about, you know, more people need to get out there and talking, and more people need to make videos and write articles and talk about the things that they know to people locally at the local level. So I thought, okay, you know, I'm not really sure about it, but I'll get out of my shell and I'll start making videos. And it's not been easy to sit in front of the camera and talk about things, especially when things are still very, they have their opinions, because law is, in fact, a theory. Natural law is a theory. That's why they call it the theory of natural law. And so we've had 200 plus years of being under a federal government and under state governments, and it's a lot of history to learn, a lot of writings to read, a lot of congressional reports, a lot of statutes, and then on top of that, trying to understand what theory of law these statutes, codes, and regulations are coming under. What theory is the government using when they write these laws? And so I've done my best to sort through a lot of these things, and so now I'm sharing them. As I'm in front of the camera more and more, it becomes a little bit easier with every video, and so you'll probably see a progression if you watch the videos from the first to the one now, as far as being, you know, maybe appearing a little more comfortable in front of the camera. Still not my favorite place to be. Maybe that's my favorite place to be. Sure rather be down there. It's too cold right now though. We've got snow here in South Texas, if you can believe that. But here we are, and so if you're interested, I try to keep to the KISS principle, which is keep it simple, stupid. A lot of people, you know, that I see and I read their articles and their papers and their emails and their posts, and they want to complicate everything, and they want to complicate it to the point that nobody really understands what's being said or what the point is of any of it. And so I really try to keep everything as simple as I possibly can, so that if you have homeschoolers or you're just learning about this kind of stuff and it's too complicated and you lose interest, I try to keep it simple enough that anybody can follow it, at least as simple as I possibly can. Some of the stuff is very complicated and has been twisted and turned, and there has been coups in our government, several of them, and I believe there's one happening possibly currently with the election and that sort of thing. So I try to help people understand what's going on to the best of my ability, and I try to give my opinions in ways that people can understand. I keep it simple, stupid, and I'm hoping that if people see my videos, that they'll really truly be able to understand what's going on. Something else I do is to define a lot of the words, and I go through original documents to see how the words were spelled and the actual words being used, and to see that they conform to what was actually made law and abide by the constitutional principles and the laws made that are required in order to pass a law. For example, I talk a lot about the enacting clauses, and I talk a lot about a positive law citation. I've had people argue with me about what an enacting clause is. They say just having the word enacted in a law or a writing means that it was actually enacted, and it's not true. It has to have a proper enacting clause. It has to have a positive law citation where it says this law has been made positive and is cited as, and that actually it doesn't say this law, it says this title. So when something's been made a law and it's just a writing, it's called a title, and then once it's passed into law, it's called a law. There are a lot of papers, a lot of writings that the government tries to pass off as laws that are not laws. They're simply titles, and they're not passed into positive law, and they don't have a positive law citation. But these are the kind of things I talk about, and I tell people where to go to get the information that I have so that they can read it for themselves. Because I believe that you shouldn't just listen to somebody, you should do your own research. And I think after people come to the realization that I have researched everything out, and I do give my sources, and I do show you my books where I found the information at, then, you know, they won't necessarily feel a need to research everything out and it could take a lot of time for people to find the things that I found. And maybe in the future, I'll be able to have everything in one place so that people can just go to one place and see it all. And eventually I will also have a Teespring store so I can sell some merchandise. And so this is me. I worked for the government, the Department of Defense, for a long time, and I worked in different positions. I was in the military, active duty. I was in the military as a reservist, and I was in the military as a civil servant. So I know a little bit about that whole part of things. I also have 2 children who are currently serving in the military, and I have family members who have served in the military. And so I draw on all those experiences and knowledge that I have to focus my research so that I can better help other people understand the truth about what is out there. And so I hope that you see this video and you decide maybe you want to check out some of my other videos. If you see one that's a little bit complicated and you're not sure that you understand it, just keep searching through, because once you start looking at this stuff, you will start understanding this, you might want to call it a matrix or a web or a maze of information. There may be some better phrases for that out there. So check out my videos and tell me what you think, and I'm always listening. Like, share, subscribe, and especially share, because you never know when something like this is going to come across to somebody who really needs it. Okay, so I look forward to seeing you.